Here's T-Bone and Heather on Star 98.3 and 97.7 The Bay.
Oh, busy morning. Joining us on the phone lines this morning, we have Linda Turner, who is the county commissioner for Calvert County.
She's the county administrator.
Administrator.
Good morning, Linda. How are you?
Good morning. How are you today?
Good.
We've had quite the busy morning, Linda, but I appreciate you calling in.
Oh, we so appreciate it, Linda. Now, let's waylay some fears. Data centers. Done.
Yes,
is it a done deal?
centers.
Done deal. It's nothing anybody can do about it. They're coming to Calvert County.
Well, Calvert County government has not received any permit application, and right now, your board of county commissioners are putting boundaries and guardrails in place through the text amendments for zoning. They listened and heard the fears of the residents. So they've been doing the same thing that everyone else is doing, is researching and performing their due diligence to ensure that Calvert County receives the best potential proposal. And if it's what the people want, then we want to hear from them.
Great. So one of the questions I asked Mark Fisher, because Mark is the pointy end of the spear here as it goes to this. He was the one up in Annapolis testifying and talking about the NDAs that the county commissioners had signed. So one of the things that I asked him was, there was some talk that zoning issues, maybe on behalf of a private industry or a private company or a private landowner, zoning issues had been already taken care of for the advancement of proposed data centers. Are you saying there's no zoning issues that have been discussed, talked about, hammered out in any way, shape, or form as it might relate in any capacity to a data center?
So the zoning ordinance was updated. It was a very public process. It took at least 2 years, I believe. It was prior to my arrival.
Okay.
However, as you are aware, when we update any zoning ordinance, it's a very public process. There were a lot of public meetings held.
And would those updates have any ramification to the implication or the construction of a data center?
It limited the sites where a data center could go.
To two locations, right?
To heavy industrial and light industrial areas.
Which would basically limit it to 2 locations in Calvert County, correct?
The heavy industrial are only a couple locations.
Would
correct.
one of those locations be the Constellation plant in Calvert County?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me ask you this, Linda, because we had talked about the open houses that are going on next week, where the public can actually come out to, I think it's Calvert Middle School, right? And they can talk to AWS representatives about possible data centers in Calvert County. 2 sessions, one at 5 and also one at 6:30, and people will be able to actually talk to them. Talking to the people from Amazon, does that lend itself to our commissioners going to be at these as well?
Yes, our commissioners will be attending and listening. So AWS is hosting a meeting next Thursday, March 26th. There will be 2 sessions. The first presentation begins at 5. The second presentation begins at 6:30. But after each presentation, there will be breakout areas, and there will be subject matter experts at individual tables. So residents can visit each table and ask their questions and resolve their concerns.
Mm-hmm. I just spoke a minute ago off air with Commissioner Cox, and he said, there's a lot of misinformation being put out there as it relates to what Delegate Fisher was talking about. Do you find that this is misinformation, and if so, what's wrong with it?
Well, we do find that, when people are concerned, they are asking a lot of questions, and when you ask questions, you may be asking someone that is not a subject matter expert, and so you're getting different responses.
Sure.
So what I recommend is that we have a robust data center webpage, and this was stood up after our I'm going to call it a Data Center 101 session that we held back in September. And after that, we had received a lot of questions from residents from that particular session.
Right.
So if you go to our website, there's a lot of frequently asked questions with responses. We have all kinds of information on that particular page.
Okay.
And Linda, honest to God, I don't want to beat you up. I don't. And you probably cannot answer this. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I think what the public is really concerned about is this whole NDA stuff. And I know that Commissioner Cox said that they did sign an NDA. He said that they did sign an NDA with his conversation with T, but that NDA expired. What did he say, T, 6 months ago, or it was only good for 6 months?
I'm not sure of the time frame, but he did say that the NDA had already expired.
But why the NDA? Oh, I mean, what's the secret? That's what people, I think that's the big thing that people are concerned about, that our county commissioners are signing these NDAs. So even if they did show up at an open house or at these meetings or whatever, they're held to that NDA and they can't talk about what's really going on. Why the NDA?
I'm so glad you asked me that question.
I'm sure.
NDA's non-disclosure agreement
Sure.
is a common economic development tool, and working with our MACO, they've polled a lot of jurisdictions within the state of Maryland. It is a common tool.
Well,
The
it's a
tool
common thing for companies to ask for. You're correct in that capacity. Yeah, I don't know that
Yeah.
it's common for commissioners to sign off on it.
Well, it's an infrequently used by your commissioners. It's very frequently used, and businesses do require them. If you want them to come and view your county and see if you're a good fit, they have to perform due diligence.
Sure.
And there's a variety of reasons why. There's one example. It was in the state of Maryland where a company may want to move across lines, and they want the body to sign an NDA because they don't want to create an alarm.
Sure.
So in our case, technology services, we sign NDAs with software companies so that they have proprietary information. There may be customer information. We've had NDAs with utility companies. So it's just protecting customers. It's protecting proprietary information, and it's not a uncommon agreement that's used.
But I don't understand why being asked if you sign an NDA, everybody on the dais during that meeting when Mark Fisher asked that question, they said no. I mean, if it's such a common thing, if it's so common and in place, why deny, right?
Well, I don't think anybody. When he was testifying up there, all the people that were listening, all the other delegates and politicians.
No, I was talking about the other meeting where he actually asked President Buddy Hance at the time.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Is there an NDA? And the answer was no. Then why, if it happens all the time, Linda, and it's commonplace and MACO says it's fine, then why the denial? That's what people are concerned. That's what concerns me. And I'm sure that, I mean, I'm just an everyday Jane. I'm sure it makes other people nervous as well.
Let me clear the record because
Please.
I believe when commissioners were asked about signing the NDA, Commissioner Hance, who was president at the time, admitted, yes, we did sign an NDA.
Is there?
I don't-
Okay. Is there a renewal NDA with Natelli? Was that signed just a couple of weeks ago?
A renewal? No.
Okay.
An NDA? No.
There's. Okay,
Okay.
maybe I have my terminology
Okay,
wrong.
well,
Is it an NDA or something else they signed with Natelli? Anything? Okay, I got you.
I'm asking
You can't talk about that. That's okay.
That's all right.
I understand.
Okay, well, listen, I think that well, I think it's a good conversation to have one way or another, but I think that it's I think that is where the
Rubber meets the
concerns
road. Yeah.
is really when something this big, and it is huge, and I've stated many times, listen, I'm not opposed to data centers. That's probably a good idea. But I think, the best disinfection is sunlight, and these things should be all the discussions, and anything related to that. Where is it going to be? What is the planning and zoning? What about this transmission line that Mark Fisher said that they'd have to put in? Who's going to pay for that? These are things that people have a right to be discussing, don't you think?
And I think you're saying they can ask those questions next Thursday at these open houses. Is that right?
First off, I just want to let you know we had a confidentiality agreement. It's been dissolved.
Yeah, we've established that.
Oh, with Natelli.
Okay, all right. Just making sure that.
Okay, with Natelli, there was a confidentiality agreement that was signed. Was that a few weeks ago, or when was that signed?
No, it's dissolved.
Oh,
okay.
Maybe that's
okay.
what the...
Okay.
Okay. Maybe that's where the confusion lies. And so
Possibly.
going forward, if Calvert County receives a permit application from a data center developer, we will follow the public process. That will allow the opportunity every resident to come out and ask their questions and provide their feedback.
I will tell you one kind of interesting little footnote to all of this was when Mark Fisher was up at Annapolis talking about this, almost to a person, I can't say everybody, but I believe it was almost everybody, said that they would like to amend the bill, this Bill 1332, to make it retroactive so that any NDA, because the bill originally said, well, starting now, nobody can sign an NDA. What they were saying was, well, listen, we'll take it further and make it retroactive for the people who have signed NDAs in the past. So that might be something that you need to be aware of as well.
And we are talking about two different groups. We're talking about Amazon, and we're also talking about the Natelli group. So the Natelli group doesn't have any relationship with Calvert County at all about building a data center in the southern part of Calvert County. Without like competitive bidding or anything like that, there's no any type of agreement between Calvert County and Natelli for that property.
So let me just let you know.
Because they're not going to be at the Amazon thing, right, Linda?
They will not be at the Amazon.
Okay.
However, they will be coming in on Tuesday.
Okay.
There will be a presentation for a potential project that they are interested in sharing and sharing with the public.
Okay.
So I welcome everyone to view next Tuesday's meeting for the presentation.
Okay, and that's going to be the regular Board of County Commissioners meeting on Tuesday?
Yes.
Okay.
Linda, I want to be fair to everybody involved here. So have we covered everything, or is there anything else?
Is there something else?
We are dedicated to transparency. Your Board of County Commissioners work very vigilantly and hard for their residents, and just want them to know that it will be a public process, and we welcome them to come out. So there's two dates next week. I hope they come out on Tuesday at 10 o'clock, their Board of County Commissioner meeting. They can view the presentation online, and then the meeting on Thursday begins one at 5 and one at 6:30.
Perfect.
Please come out.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you, Linda. We appreciate you talking to us this morning. We really do.
Happy to do it. Thank you.
All right, see you now.
so much. Take care.
Okay. So there you go. That's the official word. Again, listen. To me, it's I don't want to get the perception that I'm opposed to these data centers in any way, shape, or form. I'm not. Although I do think it's fair because I don't know anything about data centers. And so some people say they're the worst thing that's ever happened to a community. Some people say it's the best thing. I think the truth lies somewhere in the middle. But what does it mean for the community? Like that thing with that transmission line. That to me is like, hey man, I'm not paying for it.
Right.
I don't want that. I don't want that showing up on my bill in any way, shape, or form. I don't care if it's 10 cents. I don't want to pay for your infrastructure. Nobody's paying for my infrastructure. If I want to build something, first of all, I got to jump through 1,000 hoops. I'm probably going to be told no. And then even if I do, by some miracle upon all miracles, somebody goes, okay, T-Bone, you can paint your wall. I got to pay for it. That's how things happen.
Right. I hear you. Yes, absolutely. I would not miss that meeting Thursday.
Yeah.
Or the other one on Tuesday, the actual Board of County Commissioners meeting on next Tuesday.
Probably should turn up.